And so I like went up to the like, I don't know, VIP area. And I was like, hey, I'm working. And the guy was like, okay. And like, let me right in. But then I didn't really have anywhere to go after that.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, let me like go to this very nice VIP porta potty and like pretended to pee for a really long time.
Sure.
And then I came out and like washed my hands for a really long time. And then finally some other people started to come and I just...
Then you could blend in a little bit more.
Yeah, I blended in with them. And like for some reason I started talking with them, which is very like bizarre behavior for me now. Cause I would like be like, it's too much, too many people.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, come sit with us.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. And sat with them and got to see Fred Armisen like do his thing in this like very lush, like small VIP setting. So Outside Lands, please bring back the comedy tent because we like our comedy people and they need a space to perform. And like,
and we promise we won't sneak in next time.
I mean, I might.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events. Fortunate events. Fortunate events. A series of fortunate events.
It's already hard enough to focus with the beauty. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. What is this? Who is she? Welcome back, everybody, to the latest episode of the series of Fortunate Events, a podcast brought to you by who? Still me, MeMeCherry. Could be you. But I'm joined today by
Hi, I'm Cheetah Biscotti.
all the cheetah, the cheaty beakies are going wild. The biscottis, the crumbs,
The little biscuits.
the little biscuits. Yes, there we go. The little biscuits. I was trying to go somewhere with it. You found it. You got me there. You brought us home. I like that. But you're good. You're good with the yes and.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I went to theater school. I can do a little less hand.
I saw Fresh Prince.
Cute, thank you.
Okay, so I'll start it off the top. When I think Cheetah Biscotti, I think Fresh Prince.
Okay.
I think Shrek vinyl,
Period.
where you made me blush like a little teenage girl.
We love a good Shrek brunch.
Then Rocky Horror.
Mm-hmm.
And you were part of the Outside Lands crew also, right?
I did Outside Lands this last year, which was super fun.
Yeah. So I want to talk about all those things.
All those things.
And
okay.
more. So which one do you want to start with out of like those highlights when we think Cheetah Biscotti?
Yeah, I mean, Outside Lands I think was mostly the most recent. I mean,
Sure.
I just did Rocky, but that's kind of an every year thing.
Yeah.
Outside Lands was wild to
Yeah.
perform for that many people. It was very fun and also I think very confusing. It was like none of these people really knew who I am, which was fine.
Of course.
But it was fun. It was a very, very busy day for me. I ended up performing a lot and was in a lot of numbers. So it was very fun changing my wig, I think maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And just like being in it. What a busy, long day, but like so worth it. So fun and such a like honored thing to like have Oasis and so many of the like queer like performance venues in the city like host these parties and like show what is San Francisco in this like really big way. It was really cool and really fun.
Oh my God, yeah, and to be able to do like the festival experience, but like from the artist POV.
Yeah.
But like a very specific kind of artist POV. It's just so cool. I love seeing all the videos from you all from backstage. It's so fun. And like festivals, they sound to me great in concept, but like too many people like...
It's a lot. I mean, I used to go to Outside Lands all the time.
Yeah.
I lived in the Sunset, so I would just like stroll on down the hill. I
Very quintessential
I would
San
sneak
Francisco.
in a lot. Like that was kind of the vibe.
You were repurposing your space.
Yeah, I said, I'm not paying for this. You know, and so I would sneak in a lot and just like walking through, and I had tons of fun just going to the festival a lot. I often went like by myself, which was always cool to just pop around.
Let's talk Outside Lands. Give me like your highlights over the years of
Over
like
the years
from those times that you were sneaking in.
Yeah.
Like What was that like? I think the closest I did was like the Portola Music Festival years ago at one point, but like I think that's the closest to that I've ever done.
I mean, I saw Thundercat there once, like very early in the day.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Again, because I was sneaking in, they used to have this like comedy tent, which was really cool. I really think they should bring it back. They don't have the comedy tent anymore. I think it's a post-COVID thing because it was like inside. They were like, we can't be like crowding everyone in. But I mean, I got to see Fred Armisen there.
Yeah.
I got to see like what's his name? Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my gosh,
so
the wizard.
Yeah, the wizard. Jeff Goldblum. Just like so many people. And like, I think one of the experiences was like seeing Fred Armisen, and I was like, I have to see him. And you had to like scan your thing, but I didn't have one. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I have to sneak into this somehow. And like, somehow usually when you sneaking to things, you have to like give a lot of space and time to be like, okay, if that doesn't work, then what's my next avenue?
Sure.
And so I like went up to the like, I don't know, VIP area. And I was like, hey, I'm working. And the guy was like, okay. And like, let me right in. But then I didn't really have anywhere to go after that.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, let me like go to this very nice VIP porta potty and like pretended to pee for a really long time.
Sure.
And then I came out and like washed my hands for a really long time. And then finally some other people started to come, and
then you could blend in a little bit more.
I blended in with them, and like for some reason I started talking with them, which is very like bizarre behavior for me now, because I would like be like, it's too many people.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, come sit with us.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. And sat with them and got to see Fred Armisen like do his thing in this like very lush, like small VIP setting. So Outside Lands, please bring back the comedy tent, because we like our comedy people, and they need a space to perform. And
we promise we won't sneak in next time.
I mean, I might. No, I think
wink.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, I feel like over the years, there's names that I recognize from like being guests on podcasts that have been around for a long time that would like be in town for something like Outside Lands, and that makes sense. Yeah, bring comedy back.
Yeah, the comedy tent was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, and the other thing that you do pretty regularly that weaves in with the Fresh Prince is just working at Oasis, period, and you are pretty regular. I feel like there's like a semi-regular cast for Princess.
Sure.
Kinda.
I don't know.
It feels like it from the outside.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
That's like not a part of like anything that I do.
Okay.
I get very honored to be asked to be a part of Princess.
Sure.
I think I'm often in people's numbers.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
It seems like I'm there a lot, but I'm actually not there that often. So I often am like roped into something, mostly because I'm already there a lot for the cabaret shows. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm already here.
Maybe that's why it feels like you're there a lot.
Yeah.
And tell me about the cabaret show.
The cabaret shows. So that's one of my favorite things that Oasis does are these, early in the evening shows. They usually start at 7, oftentimes with Rocky or Scream, which are these like timed entrance shows, can start at like 6:15, 6:30.
Yeah.
But you're done by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And so like you can have like this light like nightlife experience, but like very early in the evening for us dolls that need to go home and go to bed.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. Have a couple strong cocktails or delicious mocktails.
Yes.
And the plays, I mean, I just saw The Nanny live yesterday. So good, so fabulous. Evian killed it. She has the tiniest waist I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's giving Victoria Chachki.
Yeah. Very, very, very much that. And that cast.
Yeah.
It was so fun to like sit in the audience and enjoy that and laugh with so many people in the audience. It was really fun.
Yeah, I've been very inside for the last few weeks, so I didn't get a chance. I kept meaning to, and it's one of those that's like slipped away from me. But talk to me about burlesque in general, because I feel like I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated with like the balls it takes to like take your clothes off in front of people. Although I've done that, but like in a different setting, and so it's not that foreign to me, but it still blows my mind. And so like, what's the rose and the thorn of being mostly naked in front of strangers?
The rose is being naked in front of people. The thorn, I personally don't feel one, because it's like
nobody's ever gotten gropey or weird.
I mean, people are always weird.
Okay. So humans being humans is the thorn.
I feel pretty honored that like I really haven't had any like horrible experiences.
Sure.
I think it's like so about like honing in onto your own power that like I feel like I'm like so exuding that like most people feel a little intimidated.
You are very
so
powerful.
They're not going to go
yeah.
Me. Luckily, I don't know. It's funny because I've never taken a burlesque class in my life.
Really? You have the pacing down because when I had Kiki Maroon on the show, she's a burlesque clown. So she has a very different approach, but it's still, there's a param patam, you know what I mean? And so you have the pacing down for sure. You're very natural at it. But yeah, no, I remember when you were doing the Shrek number, you come around and like, you get behind me and like at one point I was like, okay, keep your hands to yourself. Don't look at them. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, okay. But I had the best time. Like, it's just, you are such a enthralling, but like captivating. And yeah, you come across very powerful when you perform. That was also like the vibe that I got. But I mean, the character that you were playing in Rocky does exude more powerful cuntiness.
Yeah.
But you do it well.
Thank you. Yeah. It's funny because I'm not really that person in my outside life.
Sure. And
walking around.
The more I've gotten to know you, I realize that now.
I'm more of just like a little ADHD blob that's like, don't actually look at me.
Same. And people don't believe me when I tell them.
But it's nice to like tap into that and like have that persona to play around with.
Where'd the name come from?
A very classic way of what's your stripper name?
Sure.
So it was like the color of your underwear and the last thing you ate. And so I happened to be wearing cheetah print underpants.
Stop it.
And I was very poor, still very poor. And like got a cup of coffee, a very cheap cup of coffee. And like with it, they were like, here's this tiny little biscotti that goes with it. And I was like, well, that was the last thing I ate. And then I was like, wait, that name is kind of cunty.
It is.
And so it just stuck.
Every time I've said your name to people that are, como se dice, average citizens, not, our drag performer friends, I was like, oh my God, I love that name. I'm like, I know, right? It's the best. Okay. So it was very stripper adjacent which given your burlesque kind of like approach totally tracks. Are there burlesque families like there are drag families? And are you part of a drag family and or a burlesque family?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like...
are there burlesque moms? Or there's like den moms, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was very lucky and like started my performance journey with Hex, formerly known as Hex in the City, but now we just go by Hex SF. Okay. And so like that's like my family. That's like my burlesque drag family. We've been performing together for 8 years. So coming up on in December is our 8-year anniversary at the Stead at the 21st. Aww. On the 21st at the Stead will be our big anniversary party this year.
Gorgeous.
So like, I think we're kind of like lucky in that though. I mean, definitely, I think the burlesque world is like kind of solitary. Like a lot of the numbers are like done by themselves. There's not a ton. I mean, like the Wiley Minxes, there are groups that are like more troupe based and like perform in duos and trios and like in a group sense. But I think a lot of it is very like solo performance, which makes sense because you're like stripping. So it's all about your own. Sure. But I think San Francisco is really like tapped into this like strata world of like drag burlesque, and I think most of our drag kings come from the burlesque world, which is why they always get naked. How lucky for us. Yes. We love when our drag kings get naked, which I think is that's where that comes from. It's like they, if you look at like Meat Fop and Hota Mercury, like they were the burlesque stars that I came up with and like are now like these great drag kings.
I love Jota's little sombrero.
Little sombrero pasties.
Oh my God, yes. So good. And I love that they've leaned into like the gender fuckery of it all, the more that they've just gotten into their artiste and into their character. I love it. I love all of it. And when I also think burlesque, I think props, but I feel like just kind of like how there's in drag, like, oh, you have a comedy queen or you have like a stunt queen or you have like the the park and bark, you know, in burlesque, you have like the ones that do the fans or the ones that do like the martini glass. When I think cheat, I think gloves.
Gloves.
Yeah, like you're very powerful in your glove.
I do love a glove reveal. I think part of it is I have a really severe watch tan. So I'm like, I have to wear a glove. And then I'm like, well, I'll take the gloves off. That's what I got.
I love your glove removal.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Yeah. I guess that is my thing.
So was it just watching people that you picked up how your pacing would be if you didn't take a class?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I come from the clown world, so I do. Like,
oh yeah, I forget about that.
Like, I think that's where a lot of my timing and stuff comes from.
Yes, that makes sense.
Not having taken a class, like it was just watching these other performers. Like again, I started with Hex, but I wasn't often doing any reveals. I was like showing up as a clown and doing like these weird comedy things. But then, you know, like watching Redbone and then like watching a lot of Boutte and like watching Barbie Bogas and Kitty Kapow and like watching my peers around me and being like, wow, you're amazing.
Yes.
Everything you're doing is beautiful and how fun. But I was like, not to say that I'm not beautiful, but like I was like, I'm like the quirky one. Like, and so I would do these things where I'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna cover myself in whipped cream, or like I'm sitting on a cake, but like not in the sexy way.
Sure.
It's
giving Kiki maroon coated. Shout out Kiki. Yeah, she does like where she's like pulling out the underwear kind of number, and the underwear just keeps going. And she had for a while like that the top would come off and it would be clown noses, things like that. So talk to me about clownery.
Yeah, sure.
Is that the word?
I think that sounds good.
Clownifying? Clowning? Yes, tell me clowning. There we go. Tell me about clowning. Did you go to clown school?
I did with the Beatrix.
Yes, I thought so. Yes,
we're sisters, I guess is what we like to call each other.
Yes.
I went to clown school with
I think
Beatrix
I remember seeing a
Lahane.
picture of, very baby
pictures of us. We actually went to the same college, and you know, we had to take movement classes and some clown classes, and our teacher was like, you guys should come to Circus Center. And that's how I met Beatrix, pre-Cheetah, both of us. Yeah. And that's like where I was like, just like started honing in more on like the comedy and like really the like old school like clown training and like very like not like regimented, but like it was hard. It was definitely like lots of vulnerability and like learning to be like vulnerable in front of an audience and being like, I was always taught like if it's not funny or you're not moved by it, like don't react. Sure. Because that's not how people learn. Like they have to, like if you go out and you're like doing a thing that's you think is funny and no one's laughing, then it's not funny. Yeah, exactly. so you'd be like, nope, go around, start again, try something else. And you're like, okay, let me just try. Sure. Until like something lands or something sticks and they're like, okay, that's funny. And then it's funny for a little bit. And then the audience is like, I'm not really into it anymore. So you're like, okay, now I have to find a different way and pivot.
You must develop a really tough performer skin by doing that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like mean. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh, like that's bad, do it again. Sure. Like so it wasn't like I had to develop like a callous.
It wasn't Showgirls.
Yeah, it wasn't Showgirls.
Nobody's throwing marbles.
No one was throwing marbles. Yeah, it was more like, you know, like this is the training and this is how you become attuned to an audience, which I think is something that's like really important. I feel like a lot of like younger performers aren't quite cued into like what the audience is doing. Like they have their idea, which is great and beautiful. But then it's like when we're watching you, I'm like, remember us? Like we're here. Yeah. Like we're always told like don't eat your own candy was kind of the vibe that was said. They're like, don't eat your own candy, which means like, oh, my idea is great and beautiful, but then like you don't get to like cherish it and have it all to yourself on stage. Like it's for the audience.
At the end of the day, there's no performance if there's nobody to perform for.
And you know, we went through a pandemic and people were performing in front of their cameras and like it became hard to like have this like relationship with an audience. Sure. And so it's like sometimes I'm like, don't forget about us. We're here watching. Yeah,
and that's reverberates just in general of like post Panini, just how we engage with each other and socialize. And yeah, I was saying, I don't remember what conversation it was. But somehow, like, I think just when you're young of a certain age and like certain sexuality things that stick because you're coming of age, right? And so I've had this thought of like that there will be in maybe 10 years or something like mask play because of certain people coming of age sexually in a time where you had to wear masks all the time. And just like how there's, you know, whatever play, right, that put in front of it. I'm like, I'm just wondering when mask play will be like a thing.
It's already here.
Oh.
Have you heard of a furry?
Oh, well, but I'm I'm taking like, even like, to me, furry is like a whole.
I mean, that's mask play.
Sorry,
if you think about
microphone.
If you think about clowning, like that's masks. Like we have different types of masks. You have ones that cover your full face.
Yeah. I'm over here.
Even I mean,
I'm like, what? Really? Already?
It's like, I like to keep it on, please.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm fascinated by all of it. The clownery, the burlesquery, all the rees. Before we take our first commercial break, talk to me about working with friends of the pod, previous guests, Mud and Major Hammy.
Oh my gosh.
Because I feel like you all are like the, you know, and let's throw Glampy and they're in the Fantastic Four.
Man. Well, I have a very distinct memory of like meeting Mud. It was Doja Cat night at Oasis.
Yes.
I feel very like every time Doja Cat does something, I'm kind of like, I wanted to do that, even though I didn't know I wanted to do that. And Mud was dressed as a cow because it was kind of like that era of Doja Cat. And
Moo.
Yeah. And so we met and I was like, hi, I'm Cheetah. And they were like, I'm Mud. And I was like, cool, nice to meet you. Gotta go. And I remember Matt like recently was like, yeah, I remember meeting you and being like, Cheetah, because that's literally Doja Cat. Which is like a fun story. I recently went to go see Modest Mouse at the Fox.
Oh my
and this lady in the bathroom was like, wow, you really look like Doja Cat. And I was like, thank you so much.
I get it all the time.
Her. And then like scurried away just to be like, maybe I can make that person's day of being like, thank you, they met the Temu version of Doja Cat. And then Major Hammy, I don't even know how we met, just being in orbit and circulating around. It must have been, I don't even know. It was probably with Moist and Redbone Joe Moist, that really like brought us closer together, in the sense of like, because we had done, it must have been Glampy actually, because we did the Oaklash, the Bring It On number, and I think that's when we really like honed in on like having a very similar brain, and we can like often just be like, okay, what are we doing? This is the 8 count. Great, moving on.
Yes.
Like we often can do that. So that's how I like started working with Major. And then Glampy, fun story. They were a speaker at the preschool that I work at. And I was like, wow. But it was like this virtual talk, but they were like doing a thing with my director at the time, she's still the director there. They were doing a talk, and then I happened to be like walking around my neighborhood, which is near the DMV in San Francisco. And I was like, I think I know who that person is. And I was like through the fence. I was like, hey, I was like, are you Glampy? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, hi. You did a talk at the school that I work at, and like, everything you're doing is great and amazing and effective. And they're like, thanks so much, because so much of what they do is like online, like talks. And so they're like, I feel like I'm just kind of shouting out into the ether. And I was like, no, it was great. And then it was kind of like from there. And then I didn't realize at the time, but Glampy's first role in number with the Solid Gold Dancers was their first drag performance ever. Yeah. Which I happened to be in. And I was like, wait, that was the first time you were ever did a drag number?
Wild.
And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know how I believe that. But that's my daughter, and I love her.
I love that. I love, oh my gosh. And Oaklash, that will be our last thing that we touch on before we, actually, and I just stepped on you, sorry. Oaklash highlights, memories. There is no thorn because the thorns do not exist at Oaklash.
They do not exist.
Except for Breakdown at Night.
Which I'm never a part of.
I am. And I end up being a part of the breakdown because I break down.
Yes. No, I mean, I love Oaklash. I'm
I do
so proud
too.
of what they've created. Again, like Beatrix being my little like
Yes.
clown sister.
Yes.
I'm so honored to be like involved with it in the short many years that I have. I mean, that Roland set was super fun.
So good.
Such a good time.
And the way that you all improvised, because there was like a little bit of a moment that you had to improvise a little bit with you and Beef, the little behind the scenes production.
Did we?
Yes, that's what a little behind the scenes production Birdie T told me.
Oh, from Beef?
Not from Beef.
Oh.
There's other people that are behind the scenes production wise.
Was there things? Oh, I don't know.
Well, no, that you both basically had the same number. And that hadn't been figured out.
You're talking about this year. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
this
about
year.
like years ago.
I'm thinking of
this year. Yeah, that was my personal Roland set, which was like not associated with Roland homos.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we learn every year
But
to
it felt
check
like
the
Roland,
song list.
It felt Roland X Oaklash.
Yeah, it was, because I had loved that the first year of like doing that Roland set, and like now that they have the block party, and I was like, we're on the street, like let's get these skaters out here. That was fun. Yeah,
it's my ADD brain. Anyways, shout out production behind the scenes T person. You know who you are. Ding.
Yeah.
With that note, we're gonna take this probably very gay commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. To our sponsors.
Ding. Probably Crumble. Hi, Crumble.
In my crumble opinion, I strongly identify as Zendaya as an Oakland baddie with a twink problem. Boink. Horny jail. The movie Goons. Gooning is to masturbation what Tashi's conception of tennis is, and what the boys think tennis is at the beginning of the film. End zone, penetrating the end zone. I don't know. What are some other home run, home base, touchdown? Let's punt. Rhymes with I don't know. That's fishy to me. And that straight guys are sometimes the most queer. Challengers does for queer theory what Barbie thinks it does for feminism.
In my crumble opinion.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed what more than likely was Phoebe educating us on something that I probably cried while watching her doing it. So I have a little gamelet for you.
Okay.
I'm calling this Cheetah's Closet.
Cheetah's Closet. Okay.
Yes. We're going to have 3 categories. And I'm going to give you items in said category. It's going to be kind of like low-key Mad Libs, but we're putting together an outfit.
Okay.
So, just yes and.
Great. I'm into it. Let's go.
Okay, we have a headpiece. And for our headpiece, think of like a little closet that has little sections floating by. First section that floats by is going to be a feathered mohawk. The next one that goes by is an LED tiara. And the third one that goes by is a rhinestone turban. Which one are we picking off for our headpiece?
Let's go rhinestone turban.
Rhinestone turban. Okay, bing. We take that off. Everything else disappears. Now we have shoes. We have sky-high glitter heels. Bing. Custom boots with tassels. Bing. Or barefoot with painted toes. Bing.
Sidebar, quick question about the tasseled boots. Are they tall boots?
They are
tall,
custom.
big boots?
So
okay, let's go tall, big, tasseled boots.
okay, custom tall boots with tassels. Everything else disappears. So we have a rhinestone turban at the top, and we have tall custom boots with tassels.
Yeah.
Now, obviously the outfit is fabulous, so we're not even going to bother. But accessories are going to bring this together.
Okay.
Fully together. Do you have a golden scepter? Bing. Do you have a sequined cape? Bing. Or a giant faux fur stole?
Giant faux fur stole. Oh my God, that's really hard to say. Faux fur.
Okay, perfect. And then you are performance ready with your rhinestone turban, custom tall boots with tassels, and your giant faux fur stole and fabulous outfit underneath. What number are we performing with this outfit?
Ooh. Like a number that I have already performed?
Just...
Oh man, I don't know. There's so many good options. Maybe something Kate Nash, because I'm just a Kate Nash lover.
Okay. I don't think I know who Kate Nash is.
That's okay.
I'll do my research.
She's great. She's currently selling her butt online on OnlyFans to fund her tour.
I love that. I will definitely be checking
support
her
sex
out.
workers.
Yes, please do. Okay, perfect. More silly questions for you. If you could collaborate with any performer, anyone, who would it be?
I mean, it seems so cliche to just say Kate Nash again, but I just really love her work, and the things that she does are really fun. Also, Corinne Bailey Rae.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Her new album is really good.
Yes,
and
yes.
I would love to work with her.
And so let's say you're performing with one of these performers. Is it like a giant outside lands type stage? Is it like the side room at Oasis? Is it somebody's rooftop, VIP performance? What is this performance?
I want to make a music video, because then that's like a longer period of time of working together, not just like a one-off. Let's collaborate.
Yes, squeeze all
I'm thinking
the
longevity.
juice out of it. Okay, perfect. So we have our music video. We have our two performers. You're doing a little throuple collaboration. What is the look like? How are we styling this music video? What is the vibe?
I mean, I love color. I'm really into color. So I think it would be like some sort of like disco-y, like very vibrant colors, like but kind of blown out. Like I want to be a little bit blown out.
Like
I can do my makeup
70s.
Yeah,
blown
I want my makeup to be harsh, but the light is so bright that it like smooths everything.
It almost
out.
has like a Vaseline.
Yeah, everyone's just like licked and like everyone's just a little bit like dewy.
I love that. I love it. I want to manifest this for you. This is gonna happen.
Okay, great.
And if not, at minimum, in your dreams tonight.
Beautiful.
I almost forgot. So with the clownery, have you ever delved into magic? I dabbled with magic on and off over the years, and I want to get back into it.
No, like sleight of hand?
Yeah.
No. That seems like a lot of work. And like memorizing things and making sure that they actually work. And if they don't work, like I can't be like, it didn't work. Like it's like bad if it doesn't work. Yes. And I don't want to be bad.
Oh my God. I have this idea of doing a number. And it's part of the reason why I want to get back into magic, because I do want to be able to do the number. You have to do the magic right to be able to do the magic wrong. And so I have this idea of being a magician's assistant and doing Lady Gaga's Perfect Illusion with like a failed magician who keeps fucking up the number.
Yeah.
One of these days. And I want Hands to be my magician.
Oh, of course.
Because duh.
That sounds very accurate.
So we're manifesting not only your dreams tonight. What are we manifesting for 2025 for Cheetah Biscotti?
I just want to keep creating. I want to keep working with so many wonderful performers. I think I'm very, very honored to be able to collaborate as much as I do with different performers. There are definitely some things in the work. I love devised work. Detour will be back with a new immersive show. I've got some things in the works with Major and Glamputee.
Yes, I've heard little whispers of things
and Mud. On. So there's definitely going to be some Black disabled magic in the future. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like. I just want to be out here creating.
Yes. I had me and Mud, we kiki in the DMs. And I was like, Mud, I'm going to have Cheetah on the show. What should I do? And they suggested, well, kind of. And then we came up together. And then, anyways, hi, Mud. We're going to play Nasty or Not.
Nasty
and I'm going to tell you something. And you tell me if it's nasty.
Okay.
Or not.
Okay, great.
Let's start with Doja Cat.
Nasty. 1000%.
Okay. We were talking about it earlier. I feel like I might know what you're going to say. Wicked.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I really can't speak to it. It's not my vibe.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wicked, how we feel about Miss Ariana Grande?
You know, I've never been a big Ariana girly. She was never really my person.
Sure.
personally right now, she's very scary to me.
Oh.
I feel like her jawbone is really intense.
Yeah.
And that scares me just a little bit. But I know she's like, some people stan and like,
I know.
you know, I know she was an OG, you know, musical theater girly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And she survived being a child star.
she did.
And that, to me, that's why I tried. Like, I had somebody else. I've been on and off in the Ariana train, and like right now, super hyper fixated. And I had reposted something. I keep reposting stuff, and somebody that I know got into my DMs, was like, "What's wrong with her? Like, why is she so skinny?" And I was like, first of all, we shouldn't be talking about people's bodies.
Period.
She has also said that she doesn't like when people talk about her body, and she survived a lot of things. Like, let the woman live. She might need a minute.
Yeah.
Like, just
Well, that's also the thing. I'm like, take a minute.
yeah.
You don't have to do every interview.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And then like crying in every interview, but even though it was kind of cute. Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, nasty.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we love a black goddess.
Yeah. I've been listening to the soundtrack, and the vulnerability that she brings to that role, you can hear it in her singing, and it's just mind blowing.
I cannot listen to I'm Here like at all.
Yeah.
Like immediate tears. Immediate sobs.
Nasty or Nah, the 2024 election.
Oh, nah. Oh, what a rough time.
Oh my God, seriously. 2024 Thanksgiving.
Nah.
Oh.
I mean, Thanksgiving is such a...
It is.
It's not real. It's a weird celebration of genocide.
She doesn't go here.
We don't like her.
Yeah.
No. So nah. Yeah. Love a good meal though.
I do too.
But
I love a good meal. I love good family time.
All the time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's weird. Like, as a Puerto Rican, we have this kind of love-hate relationship with Thanksgiving, but the food was amazing. Thank you, family.
Yeah.
Last but not least, in the nasty or nah, Oasis.
Nasty. I mean, Oasis was the first place to host Nasty, which is my cute little party. Yeah.
Tell the kids about Nasty.
Nasty is just a celebration of nastiness.
I love it.
You know, it definitely has started as mostly Black performers. I would love to expand into more of our POC and have a token white every once in a while. Every once in a while, we need a token white. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see.
You can get white
Nasty.
POC.
It's true. We have white passing folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I just want people to have a space that they can maybe tap into something that they maybe wouldn't do at like another show.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I want to, in 2025, expand my performance bubble. I want to get booked for at least a couple more shows. And yeah, Roland was just such a, before that I was always so scared, and last year's, you know, drag number that I did at my live show was kind of a blur, low key. And then I did a number earlier this year as like processing a breakup, and that was a bit of a blur too. And Roland was the first one that I was like there, well, present also because I was sober. But the number, I you know, I prepped for it for a month and stoning my little shirt together. Like I felt like a proper drag queen.
You're doing it.
I felt like a proper queen. But yes, book me if you want to see the Krispy Kreme hot to go number. That one's always ready to go.
She's ready.
Yeah, excuse me. I've been dreaming up. I told Major that's one of my goals for 2025. I want to do a number with Major. Okay, you know what? We're going to start. This is Mimi's 2025 list.
Tell us right now.
I want to do a number with Major. I want to get booked to do another drag show that does not involve my drag mother.
Period.
I would like to curate one of the Oaklash stages.
Yeah.
Please.
Hell yeah.
I'll still do all the other stuff that I do.
I mean, it's like a small blip of the whole day.
Yeah, but let me do the first one, like early in the day.
We love an early in the day.
Yes.
Kind of my favorite.
Yes. So I would love to do that. I'd love to continue growing the Patreon. I'd love to continue growing the podcast. I'd love to take the podcast on the road to at least 2 locations next year.
Okay,
So take it back to LA and then take it somewhere else. And I think that's good. I think that's a good goal list because it's good to set goals to the point that you don't necessarily reach all of them. And that's how you know that you're properly goal setting.
Yeah. And also like the year is short.
Yes.
They say the year is long, but it's
Goes
really
by
only
quick.
12 months.
Yeah. And I do this on top of like my regular job and, you know, trying to live life and all those things. Okay. Well, before we go, we'll just do, we did the manifesting of the 2025. Let's do the reflection of the year as it closes. What was your favorite stage look this year?
A favorite look that I did? Ooh. I was really proud of my night one of the Princess pageant.
Okay.
I felt like my creative presentation was pretty slay. I know I didn't play by pageant rules, but you said creative presentation. And so I gave you something creative and a presentation. I get that it was supposed to be runway, my bad. But I will say that I think I had the best reveal that people probably have ever seen, from the dress into the newspaper into just being wet and sexy. And then bringing that newspaper look again for the lip sync, which I think arguably was probably the best lip sync Princess pageant has seen.
Oh, I was
going to toot my own horn.
I was going to ask you your thoughts on Princess pageant, but I think we got them.
Yeah.
What?
Which I should also shout out Sparkles Divine, who created the newspaper dress. We love that little chat GBT.
Yes.
To create the article, and my partner screen printed it, and then Sparkles sewed it together, so it is all legible stories about me.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, just a little.
That's so cool. I love that attention to detail. What was your favorite stage to perform on this year?
Oh man, that's hard. I mean,
I know it's hard
hard
to
to
play
say like
favorites.
stage, because I feel like it's not really the stage that is like the important, like the physical stage. It's more of like the audience and the experience that I had.
We can call it that.
I got to go do Fat Slut in LA for their 2-year anniversary. They just had their 3-year anniversary, so I guess
Yeah,
2-year
you do
anniversary.
so many things. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. And I forgot about that. Yes.
And that was probably one of the most fun experiences that I had. I mean, I'm so used to being in the Bay Area where I like walk around the club and people were like, oh my God, hi, like Cheetah, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
But that was a really fun experience in that I was walking around Precinct and like nobody knew who I was. And I was also wearing a bald cap, so I like had a hat on because I was trying to be a little inconspicuous.
You did your Steve
I did my
Harvey
Steve
number.
Harvey.
Steve Harvey number. I am obsessed with this Steve Harvey
So
number.
is Meatball, or Meatball.
Yes, Meatball. I can see why. I mean, I could see Meatball loving that number.
I mean, to be honest, when I did it at Reparations, I was kind of like, this is my audition so that Meatball will like me.
Yes. When you did it at Pride.
And I think it worked. I think she does like me. And then, yeah, I was
When
really...
you did it at Envy, oh my God, that crowd. I like... And I knew exactly where to stand to get the whole POV. And the fact, how long do you run around just
I think
to the...
it's like
da-da-da,
3 minutes?
Oh,
I think it's like a solid 3 minutes.
the way you just pull the string on that number, because it could be like a little too much, but you do it
Yeah.
just right.
When I was editing it, I was like, this is too long. This isn't, I was like, this is funny to me, but like, is it going to be funny to other people? And then I like cut it down. And then I was like, nope, it has to be that long. And then I cut it down. And then I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to do it. And
When you have a
I'm
crowd
glad
of
I
people
did.
to run through,
Yeah,
it works.
It's a very specific number that has to be performed at specific places. 'Cause
Yes.
it won't work everywhere. And it's okay.
Yes. Oh my God. I think see, I would have thought that when you were dancing on me and Shrek would be my favorite, but no, Steve Harvey at Envy is my favorite. And then just that whole day, everybody's performance. That's when Beef made me fall in love with Charlie XCX and converted me into a brat. Yeah. That was a very formative day.
That was,
for Mimi's summer.
I really loved that day, specifically in the like 2 acts of that show, because the first act was like very unhinged. It was like me. It was like Yaya being Hilary Duff. We had Beef being like Brat and all of their beefness. And then we had Mud, who was just like this red devil man. And then who else did we have?
You.
Me. And it was just
Nikki.
Like, Nikki. It was just like very chaotic. And then like the second half was all of like the dolls. We had like Hera and like Mojo and all like the pretty girls being cunty. And we were like, wow, you're welcome. Happy Pride, everyone.
I come from the school of drag of Florida Man and Mama Celeste. So I'm here for the unhinged chaos of it all. Again, I just eat it and then I ask for seconds. I tip my waiter on the way out and I say, thank you. I'll come back for more. Rocky Horror. Let's finish with Rocky Horror.
Sure.
What was like your reflection of Rocky Horror 2024?
I mean, Rocky Horror is like such, I feel like what we've turned it into at Oasis, and this like immersively, like you are in Frank's castle. You are one of the party attendees of this experience, but it is physically and emotionally demanding.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the hardest shows I've ever done because it's like 6:30 you're on, the first audience is coming through, they're like still figuring out, but our energy has to be here, and then as the night progresses, like we still have to be like
crescendo,
a hair above an audience that has been drinking since 6:15. And so it's like we're not drunk, but we are also like losing our minds because we're in that party world too.
I saw that again as somebody who stopped drinking 7 months ago and went to that party fully sober. I saw that progression. It's interesting too. But I like that people are mostly respectful. I do notice every once in a while it's kind of like, okay, no, you gotta.
Yeah, I feel like the first year we did it was like straight out of the pandemic, and it was like kind of madness. Like it was, I don't think I've ever seen people in that degree of non-sobriety.
Sure.
Because it really was like people, like one, it was like not even like I'm so drunk like off like liquor. They were, but they were also just like so like hungry for like human contact and like seeing performance that they were just
feral,
like, losing their minds. Which was like such a fun and insane wild ride. Especially performing with a lot of, I think a lot of the phantoms were mostly like from the like theater world. So they were not like very used to like having to like shove through people. I mean, I feel like old school drag was like in a bar and like you have like your little walkway, and so like you did deal with like drunk people and like how to make room for your performance in a way that was like you're still included, but like also I need this space because I'm performing for you, which is, I think, a lot of folks don't have as much experience anymore, because I feel like a lot of venues have like more catered to like being like, here's the little stage area.
They've sanitized it a little bit.
They're kind of like, here's your stage area, especially because during the pandemic we were like, have everyone sit away, and then the performers are here, and so we're still kind of in that instead of like having this like funny little bar runway situation.
Oh my God. Well, it was my first time seeing Rocky Horror.
Like ever?
Okay. I still don't know what goes on in this show.
That sounds pretty accurate.
I had a great time with you using your props.
Yeah, you got a little pre-show moment.
And I just know that they yelled slut and asshole a lot. And everybody was in their underwear most of the time. And that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's Rocky Horror. It's just, it's one of these like cult classics, and I think that's one of the funnest things, like if you go to like a midnight showing and like learn all the callbacks, and like when you really start to hear them, they are really funny. And like it is this, there's like magic, there's like a little bit of magic to it, and like being able to like, and each year you go, you like learn a little more and a little more, and it is a very cherished show to me.
I'll definitely go back. Like I want to go back. I need to get like my old bones. I need to get like one of the
a little runway seat.
I know.
We
that for next time.
also always offer ADA seating.
I did find a little chair in the corner, and I just kind of stuck to my chair in the corner. But I had a great time, and I stuck it out, and it was just so much fun. I don't go out as much, especially at night, especially in the city, especially now that like I wake up in the morning to go to the gym. But that was one of those nights. And shout out Lisa, because Lisa Frankenstein slid into my DMs and was like, "Do you want a free ticket for tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, please."
It was so fun to have Lisa as Janet.
Oh my God, yes, she's perfect.
It was really, really fun. And like just to have Lisa's magic.
Yeah, Lisa's perfect. Everybody was perfect. It was such a great show. You could tell everybody was having fun, which to me is the ultimate. Like, as long as the performers are having fun. That was another thing about Fresh Prince, that you all looked like you were having fun.
That was a fun show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so fun to like, Oasis has always done these like classic sitcoms, and like obviously like there wasn't a lot of like Black representation for a while. And so to shout out to Snacks for really pushing for that. Shout out to myself for really bullying Major Hammy.
Yes.
If you asked Major, I was like, did you send in your tape? Did you audition yet? Literally just do it. They're going to give you the part. You just have to like do the step.
Honestly, thank you, because it was perfect. Perfect casting. You all played off of each other so well. One of my favorite parts, and this was like one of the first times that I actually got to see you in person. At one point, you're selling chocolate to get tip money, and you're walking by, and there's money on the runway, and I was like, grab that. And you were like, girl, I'm trying to get new money. I said, okay.
I'm a hustler. What can I
say?
And
I said, I know that's right. So please, Oasis, I left that first night and got tickets to the last show because I was immediately in love and needed to come back to the last show. And I remember telling Matt on the way home that they need to bring that concept back, but do 2 new episodes. Mm-hmm. And so like every year, just pick new episodes and do them, and do other shows. Like I really did love Golden Girls is cute and all, but
they're the Korean now. They're doing fine.
Yeah, exactly.
They're having a great time.
Exactly. Let's have other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living single.
Yes.
My big boat.
Yes. I mean, so many shows that you could tap into.
Degrassi Live.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Moesha. Like so many shows.
I will be Moesha. Thank you.
Mo to the E to the.
Yes.
Like, hello. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get to my least favorite part of the show, which is the goodbye.
This is what we say. Oh, now we've come to that part in the night.
I know. Is there anything that you would like the kittens, the furries, the clowns, the divas, the dolls, the dancers, the natural born performers like you out there? What would you like them to know about you, for you, with you, to you?
I think just like keep on keeping on. Yeah. Like if you are a performer, keep performing. If you're like a maker, like keep making. I think we are like in this specific time where we are like flashback again, kind of. And I think that's like what we have, is to be in community, to create and be with each other, be kind to one another. Yeah, I think that's what we have.
Some of the best art comes from resistance. We survived them once. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. Yeah.
Bing. Bing. Thank you. And that's a wrap on Don't hurt yourself. That's a wrap on Cheetah Biscotti. Wee.
Bye.
MeMeCherry presents a series of fortunate events. Fortunate events. Fortunate